Hello everybody, my name is Tanner Kyler, and today I am bringing you something that's new to our restoration area that wasn't here last year. I put a few plugs in and spread some seed. I'm not sure which these came up from, but they are here now. That's all that matters. And today we're going to be talking about pink ladies, or the Pink Evening Primrose. This is a native primrose to much of North America. It is hardy from zones 4 to 9, so it is very cold tolerant, but can also live in warmer climates like down towards Florida and parts of Texas that don't get very cold during the winter. Oenothera speciosa is its Latin name. Sorry if I butchered that. It has a very weird Latin name that I wasn't sure how to go about the pronunciation of it. Overall, this is a vigorous, low-maintenance perennial known for its stunning early morning blooms, which are normally pink to white. These ones here are particularly white, but you can see the wilted ones are more pink, and I've seen ones growing in the wild that are almost hot pink. So they come in a lot of different colors. I actually quite like the white ones here and don't mind them. I have some pink ones and some almost reddish ones growing in other areas. So I think if you buy them in cultivation, you can get them in darker pink colors, but I do appreciate the white ones here. So these guys bloom early in the morning, so around dawn and around dusk, giving them the name the evening primrose. So they like to bloom when the weather cools off. I do this early in the morning. It's around 9 a.m. right now, and if I waited any longer, they're going to start closing up all of their blooms, because as soon as the sun comes up and it starts to burn off the heat, the moisture, they start to close up their flowers, and then they'll open back up at night, normally having their greatest show in the morning, actually. So these guys bloom from March all the way into June, July, possibly if you're in northern climates. So these guys got another probably 2 to 3 weeks of blooms left, and they are covered in pollinators. So we have solitary bees, a lot of different beetles, moth species that use them. And because they bloom early in the morning, they are very important for our nocturnal pollinators like moths. So they bloom throughout the night as well into early morning. So they are good for diurnal and nocturnal animals, and along with crepuscular animals. Crepuscular animals are ones that are only come out around dusk and dawn. So that means that there'll be some food here for them. So these guys are important for our pollinators. As they go to seed, the seeds can be eaten by small birds like finches and like goldfinches, house finches, and other things like that. So smaller birds will eat their seeds and then help disperse them around. Now, talking about in a garden setting, this is a 1-year-old clump. There's a few plants here, and they are just going crazy. So one of the things I've learned about them is they are pretty aggressive spreaders. So if you plant them in your garden at home, they may take over. This is part of a 5-acre restoration area, so I'm plenty happy with them spreading vigorously. They can outcompete some other stuff, but we have a lot of large native grasses, large wildflowers, milkweeds, other things that they can't compete too well against. So they do really well on hillsides, like this is on a gentle slope here, because they like well-draining soil, but they can tolerate some boggier conditions, but they won't do as well. So I generally see these guys growing near ditches on roadsides. That's where they're most common, and they'll be on the steep slope coming down to the water, so they like growing in those areas. They can grow in all different types of soils. They're very adaptable and not super picky, but they do seem to like clay soils and poor soils in areas where there's a lot of erosion and not much else can grow. So they are really good soil stabilizers, as they have a very large root system that holds it all together. Right now I'm seeing some really cool spiders. I'll throw in some clips of their blooms and some of the pollinators on these guys as well that you can't see so close up here. Overall, though, they create this stunning appearance. They grow along roadsides. That's a really good area for them to be, as they do need a lot of space to grow. So planting them in a garden setting, they can be aggressive. Some people even say invasive, but they are native, so it's pretty tough for them to be invasive. But they can be aggressive and outcompete a lot of your other plants. So it is good just to keep an eye on them. A lot of people grow them in containers or keep them in areas where they can maintain them on the edge of garden beds and stuff like that with taller plants around them. So this thick mat they create, and I'll show that up close here, it forms this really dense, oh, there's a bumblebee coming up to it. It creates this really dense mat, which is awesome for beneficial creatures like lizards, frogs, and toads. This gives them this microclimate that's nice and moist that they can hang out in. That really helps let them thrive in these harsh Oklahoma conditions, and along with a lot of the tallgrass prairie and Midwest conditions. So these guys are definitely an excellent choice, I think, especially if you're wanting something to grow into a bed, nothing else will grow. They definitely will take over. Now, in the later parts of the summer, they're not quite as showy, and other things will probably take over this area. But for right now, they're doing a really good job stabilizing the soil, creating microhabitat, and growing in an area that otherwise would be covered in invasive grasses like the Bermuda that's all around here. But I think that's about it for today. I know it was kind of a short video, but I just wanted to cover these guys while they were in bloom. Absolutely stunning plant, really beautiful, large white to pink flowers that helps a lot of our pollinators, and they also have a very nice fragrant smell. Now, if you're new to this channel, please like or subscribe to help grow this channel. This channel's job is to educate about the natural world, and if it ever produces any money, all that money will always be put right back into buying new plants for these areas, buying land to one day restore, and I would love to be able to spread out all over the world, buying pieces of property to preserve the natural world, to create little natural habitat gardens for all of our native plants and animals, because you can't support our animals without our native plants. So if I'm able to purchase land and preserve it, it is saving it for the next generation, which is the whole idea of this place. And like I've said in the past, I don't care where I get the money from or who I get the money from. I just need money to buy land and protect it. So just by supporting this channel, you are helping with conservation efforts and being able to preserve these native species from going extinct one day, and for our future generations to see and to educate them on the things that we have in this amazing planet we live on. But with that, please leave a comment if you have any questions or concerns. I try to reach out and comment on all of the comments that are left behind. And if they're asking a question, something I didn't mention, something you guys are curious about, I try to reach out and let you guys know what I'm thinking on the subject, or tell you that, oh, I didn't know that. But with that, I hope you have a great rest of your day, and we'll see you next time.